Good morning. Could there be a light at the end of the tunnel? What the hell does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you what I mean. It's something called compromise. Although that seems quite impossible in many ways, and because of many reasons. But keep it in mind that when you have a trial going on, when it comes time for the judge to make a resolution of the problem, and he decides to make a decision on any kind of conviction, sentencing, and the whole point, well, there's one person, me, who could have a say in this matter. Let's say the judge says, I want to give you 6 years. I could turn around and say, no, that might be a little bit harsh. And it's my word, and according to my attorney, yeah, I have a right to address the sentencing situation, making adjustment on such. But that's really hard to do when somebody sigs his girlfriend on me with a complaint to immigration to try to get me deported. It kind of turns my milk a little bit sour. Oh, there's solutions to everything here. There are solutions. His girlfriend admitting she made bad judgment. Yeah, that could work. Upon making and filing such a complaint, which was totally invalid anyway. A little sugar gets a little sugar back. Maybe a little extra sugar, if you deserve it. There is compromise. Now, under these conditions, it's very hard for me to want to compromise on anything. I'm being honest with you. When he has consistently come on his show, doxing and defaming and acting as cocky as he can be, which is pretty normal for him. But what he doesn't realize is that when it gets to the point at the end of the trial and the judge has to make a decision, it's more likely not going to go in his favor. I'm not saying anything at all. I'm saying I think that complaint was bogus. And I'm not very happy about it, obviously. But there's something called compromise, and this is as far as I'll go with this. Serious issue. They want to try to ruin their life and get deported. Oh, I take this. Trust me on that. You never took me seriously before. You can take me seriously right now when I say that. I'll be up front with you. And we all know why she did that, because she wants to pay a little homage to her boyfriend. And with their heads together, get revenge. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Well, he's going to plead whatever the hell he wants to plead. I don't really care. Okay, that's up to him. We've heard it before. I'm going to plead guilty, blah, 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 blah. But some of his recordings that, some of the last recording I think I had on there show his unwillingness to put his situation in a light mode. Like, I'm never going to stop going after you and blah, blah, blah. You've heard all the videos. That does not help in court. That doesn't help. Because when it comes time for me to testify, I will include whatever evidence I'm allowed to under questioning from my own attorney. And I could use some of those recordings because they're very short. And that will spell it out as to what he's all about. And it ain't going to make his situation any better. No, I don't like having a complaint against me for deportation. Absolutely not. Why do I pause so much? I could take a breath. Why do I pause so much? I like to breathe. And I don't talk 500 miles per hour. I never did. Okay. Bottom line is, it can't be compromised when there is. How than that? Under the circumstances, they're not going to be. I can tell you that. But it takes a little effort to get in the direction that you want to get. Not by creating show after show after show, doing the same goddamn thing that puts him in the position he's in. Although we've talked about that probably 200 times. No need to elaborate on that. But when it comes time for any court situation and a judge has to make a decision, there is an opportunity for the complainant to say, okay, cool, great sentencing, but how about it, Judge? Instead of, 3, 4 years, you give him 1. I have the power to do that. And he could either agree with me or not. But unfortunately, it's kind of hard to want to compromise with anyone because when they sick their girlfriend on you and try to get you deported, it leaves that sour taste in your mouth. That's not something I could put to the side. It's not something you can put to the side. And it's not easy to put to the side. Especially when the respondent is doing YouTube shows, the kind of YouTube shows that, well, basically got him in trouble in the first place. Again, redundancy at its best, but reality. I don't see how a judge is going to make a favorable decision on a case like this for the respondent when he's exhibited this kind of behavior on social media when he's not even supposed to be using his phone to do social media. Although he's gotten away with it because the guards don't know he's doing it. We caught him in that one statement where the guard only doesn't know I'm using my phone for a live show. It's that kind of attitude that got him in trouble in the first place. Yeah, pretty much. So what am I basically saying here? Compromise gives compromise. No, I'm not happy that he convinced his girlfriend to do a deport case. I'm not happy with that at all. Who would be? In fact, I'm pretty pissed. And so is my girlfriend, of course. He did his own job of destroying his own life, and I'm not going to allow him to destroy mine. Let's put that first and foremost. Don't expect any leniency from me under the circumstances, considering all. No, I'm not happy with the situation at all. The fact that a report was put in there. Yes, of course they do. Not the fiscal. No, my lawyer does. The fiscal will have all that. Let's just say it does not look really good for this guy. It doesn't at all. As I analyze the whole situation, the evidence presented and all that, if they do pass sentence on him and decide to convict him, then first of all, no, he will never be able to come in this country again. Once you get a conviction, you serve your time, and he does get his summary deportation, executed, and no, he will never be able to come back to this country again. It doesn't work out in his favor in a situation like that. Unfortunately for him, but it leaves a bad taste in my mouth when he gets his girlfriend to do such a deviant thing. And I've read all the statements in this complaint, which is bogus and unfounded and invalid. But it's a situation that's really up to immigration. However, where this goes, we'll find out. But I will tell you, he wants some kind of compromise with me. He's got to put some effort out. That's what I'm trying to say here. That's what I will say. He's got to put some effort out. Not by doing shows constantly berating me, constantly defaming me, blasting me, and making allegations against me, even though he's already got 5 counts of cybercrime against him for such. Which I understand, folks. You're still scratching your head saying, and I've seen all the comments on shows and saying, why the hell did you do this? And why the hell are you still on here doing it again? Nobody can understand that or comprehend his plan of action regarding this. His plan of action is just to get revenge, but he's not thinking about his situation. His idea is if I'm going to go down, I'm going to take him with me. That's basically his way of thinking. It could turn out a lot worse for him. But understand something, I do have a say in this matter. When it comes to finding a resolution, simply meaning a resolution means that this case comes to an end. The judge is going to be making his decision on the case. He's going to pronounce any possible sentencing. I have a say in this. I definitely have a say in this. Say he's going to give him 8 years. I could say, well, Your Honor, that seems a little bit extreme to me. You know, I could. The fact is, he's working on his 19th month in detention. And by the way, that's not time served. Just to straighten that situation out, that's not time served. That's an immigration, their deal to keep him in there, whether or not because it's a case or not they have. But no, it's not a time served situation where you're going to get time served for the amount that he's in a detention center. From my understanding and what I've discussed with my attorney, that has nothing to do with the price of tea in China. It does not. That is a separate gig. That's separate. So it's called compromise. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. As anything else in life. It's the way it works, the way it's always been. Business people do that all the time. Become president. Do favors for corporations, get kickbacks. That's life. It's part of life. Don't expect any leniency whatsoever. The time is going to come when this case is going to come to an end. Nothing goes on forever. Well, it seems that way in the Philippines, though. Yeah, I understand that. It does seem that way. Things do go on forever because things take a long time to happen in the Philippines, whether you're opening up a bank account or whatever it might be. It takes a long time. As if you're living out here, you would understand exactly what I'm talking about. The court system is also backed up, the dockets from here to eternity. This case could drag on for years. I don't know. Or it could end very peaceably and with compromise. Take the hint. Take the hint, Bubba. You know damn well that case, or that complaint, rather, that was filed against me to try to get me deported was based on retribution, was based on revenge. Nothing more or less than that. And I still have the ability, understand with the love you have for your girlfriend. I still have the ability to file a case, two actually, and I'm not going to get specific. It'll be never ending. Said you don't want to get your girlfriend involved, but you certainly did. And this thing could transcend beyond her complaint. I'm just telling you like it is. You love your girlfriend, huh? Yeah. I got a fuzzy feeling in my chest, a warm, fuzzy feeling over your love for your girlfriend. Well, I love mine too. And she loves me. And she ain't a very happy camper right now with you. Or your girlfriend, I can tell you that. Yeah. And this little complaint of hers could turn on her. Oh, anything's possible. Then you put her in a compromising situation where you've caused trouble in her life. But you love her, right? You don't want her to get involved in anything, but you did. But you did, didn't you? You certainly did. Things can get a lot uglier than it is, I can tell you that. And by the way, whether they deported me or whatever, still have the lawyer, still have the case. The case doesn't stop if I was ever deported from this country. Keep that in mind. As long as he's retained, the show must go on. And it will. And there will be no compromise. Absolutely no compromise at all. No warm, fuzzy feelings, which I don't have anyway for you. No compromise whatsoever. I think you know what you have to do. I think you know what you have to do. It's called compromise. Maybe you're incapable of that. Think of the sentencing. And I actually have a say in that. And you seem to think that you're just going to get a slap on the wrist and a fine, according to one of your last videos. No guarantees in life. None. There's absolutely no guarantees. There's wishful thinking. We all could have that. We could hope for the best. But that's not always a reality. You have to ask yourself, how long do you want to be behind bars? You want to continue your life. You want to get deported and go on with your life. Oh, understood. Absolutely understood. But how are you achieving that? What are you doing to make that a reality? That's the key question right there. Yes, of course, my lawyer has a copy of his rants, as, as well as I do. Well, that's how they got it. I've played them. I've done some remixes, some clips. And yes, that could be usable in this situation. Once the judge sees his attitude about court, his attitude about, the charges and what he's accused of, and that he's making a mockery of it and the system. Now, I'm not going to get no time. They're going to give me just a slap on the wrist. Can you guarantee that? I can't even guarantee that. So how could you? I'm not going to say they're going to give you fucking 10 years. I can't say that. I have no ability or pre-knowledge of that. But neither do you. Okay. Eric Rodinas. Who the hell is it? The brain damage says, I saw on Discord this morning Eric Rodinas. I don't know who that is. Larry Baja Subalaj. I don't know. 4 to 8 years plus huge time for malicious statement on Facebook. Wow. Oh, I don't know anything about that because I don't go on Discord. Well, you made a good point, which kind of validates what I've been saying on my show this morning. There's no guarantee in anything. I can't guarantee anything myself regards to where this is going. I don't think it's going to a good place, but my point is, don't ever expect leniency on my part, especially when he puts his girlfriend, sigs her on me to get even with me. Doesn't, as I said, it doesn't leave it leaves a sour taste in my mouth where I just don't want to compromise. She needs to admit that it was a frivolous, egregious, invalid attempt to, and she's good doing it in words, that I made a bad judgment. Has to put it in writing to that prosecutor, and has to be notarized. And I want to see it. If she can do that, well, we'll talk some Thanksgiving turkey here. Yeah, for cyber libel, right. They changed the penalty of 6 to 8 years. Well, considering he has 5 counts against him, holy cow. Could that possibly happen? Especially with his attitude against the law and the court system and everything else, I think they're going to throw the book at him. That's my belief. But again, I don't know. I can't predict the future, and I'm not trying to. I could just basically, have some common sense and say, considering all, I think the book's going to be thrown at him. If he doesn't compromise, I'm not going to compromise. I'm just going to lay it out. No, I'm not happy that a complaint was put against me. Oh, I'm not happy at all. Oh, believe me, neither one of us here is happy about that. We're at the point where we wouldn't want to be lenient with him at all, but we have the ability to do so. We absolutely do. I don't think he wants to serve fucking 10 years in prison. I don't think he'd survive the first year. So he has to make a compromise. He has to talk to his girlfriend and have a written report notarized to the particular prosecutor saying that I made a hasty judgment on my complaint. I'd like to withdraw my complaint. If she could do that, because I really don't know where this is going at this point, by the way, but if she can do that, produce that, I'll make a guarantee. That I go lenient on him. I'll make a guarantee. And that was for one charge? Imagine a penalty for 5. Well, that's my point. What do you guys think about this situation, seriously? His cocky attitude, that's the problem, man. Hey, look, I'm human and I have compassion. I got loads and tons of compassion, but under the circumstances, it's very hard. I think you all understand that. He's trying to fuck with my life. He did all the things that has got him into a trial. A prosecutor would not approve this unless he thought that the guy did commit these crimes. Okay? He doesn't have much of a leg to stand on, to be honest with you. I have a certain amount of control. Can I say how much control I have? No. But actually, it's my word that could change up his situation to his satisfaction to a point. And I'm being honest about this. No, I believe you. Brain damage. Yeah, one charge. Imagine a penalty for 5. That's my point. If he could get rid of his cockiness and get real and stop throwing insults to injury and all that, there could be compromise. And I'm certainly willing, to a certain degree, of course. It's all he's got is me. That's all he's got. Me. I can make certain decisions that would be more favorable for him. And I'm willing to do so, but there has to be compromise. I want to end this fucking case just as much as he wants to. No doubt. This shit's been going on a long time, of course. I'm tired of it myself. It's time to move on, but in a positive direction. It really comes down to you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'm in a position to do so. I absolutely am. I absolutely am. Her report on me, complaint, that was vicious. And he says he has nothing to do with it. That's the biggest bullshit, like he's ever told the truth in his life. He will never start. Hello, Luminar. I know, that's the point. He will never stop trashing me, and he thinks I could be lenient with him, and he's making a lot of suggestive statements throughout the months and years going by, whatever. It's unfair for him to be in there. Well, I didn't put him in there in the sense of being in there that long. It's just, well, he got 5 counts of cybercrime against him. That's why he's in there that long. But if he's enjoying it there, you know, Hotel Mambo, enjoying the free rent and free electricity, well, I could accommodate you on that. Yeah. Any report on anybody is concerning. Of course it is. Not going to be like him in life. Of course it's upsetting. I got a family here. I got a woman I love and vice versa. And somebody's going to step in my way to allow my life to continue on here. You think I'm going to handle this lightly? There's no fucking way. If I ever did get deported, you think the case stops there? No, it does not stop there for his information. It goes on, but only under the advisement of me to my lawyer that there'll be no compromise whatsoever. None. None. Zero. Anyway, I wasn't going to do a live today. I wasn't planning on it really, but here I am. Nevertheless, I'm kind of speaking my mind on how I see the situation. And it's really not looking good for him at all, considering some of the new evidence I could actually introduce into this case. Don't expect any leniency from me at all. There has to be compromise. There has to be. There's no other way. No other way. Otherwise, it's gung-ho. That's it. No compassion. No leniency. Just throw the book at the motherfucker. And throw it hard until it really hurts. If he thinks he has it bad now in his cell, imagine being in Bickerton or one of those places. Only when he gets to that point, it's too late. It's too late. I guarantee you he won't have a cocky attitude if he was in one of those institutions. I'll guarantee you that right now. Guarantee. He doesn't want to be there. If he gets to go there, it's definitely all over. Scratch my back a little bit, boy, but wash your hands first, okay? And I'll scratch your back with hygienic hands. That's the way it works in life. You get your girlfriend to negate this complaint, then we talk. Otherwise, it's business as usual. Because her complaint was totally fucking invalid. It was bogus, it was bullshit, and it was for revenge. That's the bottom line. And everybody knows that. And he says he had nothing to do with that. That's bullshit. That's some of his best bullshit. I'm going to leave it at that. Otherwise, see you in court. And you do what you feel you need to do in court. Keep on your path of not guilty or plead guilty, whatever you want to do. I don't care either way. The trial is going to end at some point in the future. And how he wants to end it is going to be up to him. Yes, I do have the empowerment to actually put my 2 cents or 2 pesos into this matter when it comes to judgment. Keep that in mind. That's called being in the driver's seat. That's called being in the driver's seat. Keep that in mind. Now, I'm not even sure his girlfriend could actually change her complaint. I'm not even sure that it'll be even allowed. But she's not being honest with herself, and she's doing something highly illegal. Because if they do find that this is perjury, the very girl that you love and proclaim you love so much could be in a shitload of trouble. You got to keep that in mind too. You got to have an open mind about how these things have a way of turning on you or her. It could happen. Let's see. I think we all want him deported and the situation over. Well, everybody does. Now, the other guy I was dealing with, he's still out of the country. So it doesn't mean that doesn't go on. You know, it doesn't look good for him that he's not appearing in court. He moved out of the country because he's afraid of what the judge is going to do. That's why he's out of the country. Yeah. Because he knows, and from listening to everything happening with me and Goober, he knows it was time to get out of the Philippines. That's what he did. The case still goes on, but he figures that the judge he passes judgment on him. I'm in the United States. I don't care. I don't have to worry anymore. That's what's happening with that situation. Sean Harris. Hello, Sean Harris. He deserves Bikiton. He's done too much damage to you and the country. Well, we know that. That's my point. That's my point. My point is that the evidence that was already presented through my girlfriend's testimony and also the visual evidence that was on the screen, the fiscal, that's the guy who's a prosecutor that represents the court. He's not representing, him or me. He's like a neutral lawyer in a sense, prosecutor. He takes all this information in for the judge because you see, the judge, how many thousands of cases he goes through. He's not going to remember every goddamn detail of a certain case. He relies on the fiscal and the court secretary to record the minutes and so forth. That's how it works. But sometimes there's people that he won't forget. And when he was on camera, well, you can't forget what he looks like. That could come to his memory and how cocky he was. The judges will remember that. He won't rely particularly on the fiscal for that. No mercy, he said. He's done a lot of damage. And I'll tell you something, everything he does is working against him. He don't want to admit it, of course, but I think there could be compromise on this, but I'm not going to go, I think, out of my way. I'm not going to go way out of my way. There would have to be a certain level of cooperation, let's put it that way, for me to show any mercy at all. Oh, I'm very convinced where this is going. I'm very convinced. I definitely have an opinion on where this is going. I just haven't totally shared it yet. Because for my conferences with my own counsel, he pretty much laid it out to me, but he still said it's nevertheless going to be up to the judge. It's according to the evidence we got. It's damning. It's one of those situations, either you did something or you didn't. And if the evidence is presented there, then there you go. There you go. There'll be a conviction. There's no doubt that there'll be a conviction. There's no doubt in my mind. But sometimes you've got to get rid of this so-called cockiness, which has been his biggest enemy through this whole goddamn thing. Mazda, you're lucky I'm even doing a live show. Thing. You know my show's always being recorded by the way, high five by. You know, I got, besides this case, I want this over as much as he wants it over. But if there's no compromise, there's no solution. And there's no positive resolution from me. Let me put it be as blunt as I could possibly be. No resolution at all. Personally, I'm tired of listening to him, looking at his face whenever it's on there. I am absolutely, let me use his famous word that he learned from somebody else, the word livid. I'm absolutely livid about this whole situation. I can't find words to actually define fucking shithouse of lies, retribution, insult, injury, defamation. Yeah. He's always spewing hate. Well, that's why he's in trouble. Now he's turning on John Blaze. Not that I'm a fan of John Blaze. And you know what? I don't agree with Bummer on anything. But there's could be some validity, whether he even has a girlfriend, whether he's really actually married and all that good stuff. Because you can't believe Larry Evans. Obviously so. They have something in common, both of them. You can't believe either one of them. For all I know, he could be a farmhand. I've always thought that. Was he in the service? Yeah, I believe he was. Does he have anything to do with helicopters? I think he was an A&P or whatever you want to call it, mechanic. That's what I think on that. That's what I think. Pepperoni face. All right, let's not get into insults here. Sometimes things are what they are, Illuminar. Sometimes they are what they are. In this stage, it is what it is. The fact is, in reality, is that our little friend there from Alabama has all these wild-ass dreams of how he's going to get his life together. How is that going to be possible? And I'm being serious as a heart attack. How is that going to be possible under the circumstances? The only way that's going to be possible is through compromise. And I'm willing to compromise to a point. Because part of me is saying, okay, the fucker's going on 19 months of incarceration. That's like, wow. Did I ever think that would happen? Be honest with you? No. I didn't believe he'd be in there that long. I figured something would come up, but I guess not. But going on 19 months, get a hint. Get a clue that things are not working out your way. All right, all this shit, I want to get married. I'm going to be a changed man. No, you're not going to change. We all figured that out. It's, the hate and cockiness in you just runs like the deepest river. That'll never change. You can't change somebody's personality when it's that far gone. It's almost impossible. What's that? Brain damage? He said that he's never been attacked here. But didn't he accuse you of having him attacked? Well, these fucking sinuses. Well, that's something I have to live with. Well, that's a good point. I have to live with allergies. I can't control that. I could get it under control to a point, but you're always going to have. And that's my point. You're always going to be cocky. You're always going to be this. You're always going to be getting into trouble. He wants to go home. He wants to go home. E.T. wanted to go home too, but it was quite a process for E.T. to go home, wasn't it? E.T. had to face all these challenges. Home, go home. Well, that's possible, but it takes a little bit of effort. And if you're not willing to put that effort out, you're not going anywhere, son. He said he's never been attacked here, but he didn't he accused me of attacking him. You're talking about that huge monstrous gash he had on his head? He just did what he does marvelously. He pissed somebody off is what happened. Imagine if he's in Bickerton and he acts that way. He ain't going to last very long at all. You can't take the cockiness out of somebody. And if I want him to picture this. Here, visualize. You know how to visualize? Look at where you are right now. It's horrible, isn't it? Mold, the heat, the humidity, no running water. Well, imagine being in a real prison where they will feed you 3 meals a day, things you probably don't want. You're not going to have the freedom of using your phone and making vicious videos anymore. Things are going to change radically. And that's something that if you could find any logic in your mind at all, you're going to have to ascertain this stuff. You're going to have to think of what it'd be like if you did get convicted and you did get time as a result of your conviction. Cockiness is not going to get you anywhere, and cockiness has not gotten him anywhere at this point and never fucking will. That's just a fact. He could run his mouth as much as he wants. Always on the attack. Now he's attacking John Blaze because John Blaze ain't paying him no more money. John Blaze woke up about him. But John Blaze goes both ways anyway. That could mean a lot of other things too, but I don't know that as a fact, so I won't say it. No, John Blaze is his own character, that's for sure. He talks about hate master and shit like that. Well, he's at the top, one of the top of the list on hate. Then you have to think to yourself, how much of that is part of his real personality? How much of it is just being a showman? Like in Bummer's case, it's been consistent. You could say that it's just to create drama and bring people to a show. He can make a couple of dollars. But when it's as consistent as it's been, that clearly shows what he's made of. He's not going to change, not for his girlfriend, not for God, not for Trump, his hero. By the way, wait till you see the disastrous things that are going to happen under his administration again, under his dictatorship. It makes me so happy that I got out of America or United States. Timing was great. I think it was. But I won't get into politics because that would be a 3-hour show. Okay, I think I made my point. No, I don't like the fact that his girlfriend made a complaint on me. Am I supposed to love that? Of course not. He's trying to compromise my life. And we, meaning me and Gilda, we're not very happy about that, as you can imagine. Because what they don't imagine, that it affects her too. Deeply. Because that's what he wants to do. I want to get even with you. I'll show you for getting me in a court situation. I'm going to get even with you. But in the end, who's winning? You're incarcerated for almost 19 months. You could get some serious time, but he's not a compromising person. He knows what he has to do. She knows what she has to do. Then we'll talk Thanksgiving turkey. Mazda says, you call it cockiness, I call it Barry's bad attitude. He can look at his life's trajectory from being uneducated, having a lifetime of minimum wage jobs, unable to support himself without government help. It wasn't he just said recently on his show that me and my girlfriend, we're going to make money together when we're in America. He said that. How? Then he was jumping on John Blaze saying he's making his girlfriend work. What's wrong, John Blaze? You don't have the money. You have to make your girlfriend work, is what he's saying to John Blaze. Well, maybe John Blaze, if he really does have a girlfriend or wife at all, maybe, she's becoming Americanized. She needs to collect Social Security. She needs to start working. Maybe that's it. Or maybe John Blaze is broke. I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say. You got to look at both angles on this. So the bummer says that, well, yeah, I want to get it to America, and we're going to make money together. Well, he's saying that you shouldn't put your woman to work. But how are they going to make money? What? Go on the welfare system? Get her on there? No, that's not a compromise that the United States is going to allow. Getting her into the country under the pretense of getting on welfare and maybe getting more food stamps or some kind of government allotment, how's that going to work? That's not taking care of a woman, man. I mean, he's not the best catch in the world. And whatever her reason is for being with him is her reason. I'll give her that. I don't have to agree or even care. I just think it's a shame that she has to go through this and it's not going to turn out the way she wants with him. That's just a fact. It's obvious. It's obvious. There's not going to be a good outcome for him at all. And as I said, whether I got myself in a position here, or she trying to put me in a position to get me deported, whether that works or not, the case still goes on, and I have a big say in it. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I have a say in this matter. Little back scratching goes a long way. But like I said, get some antibacterial soap and clean your hands before you try to scratch my back, bro. There you go. Does the belch loud when he's in court? I wasn't really listening. I don't know. I don't remember. But I read up on that, and it's usually a sign of one of them is acid reflux, gastrointestinal problems such as acid reflux and esophageal deterioration. It's like leading to Barrett's esophagus. I know about that because I have that. I don't burp incessantly like that. I don't burp at all, hardly. The only time I burped I remember is I had a can recently of sugar-free, caffeine-free ginger ale. And the carbonation made me burp. Unless he's sitting there and having a whole shitload of carbonated beverages, then I could see why he's burping so much. But it's actually become part of the grain of who he is. Constant belching like that is, first of all, very rude. But second, if not first, is that it's an indicator of a deeper problem. He's a classy guy, that's for sure. We all agree on that. The guy has a lot of class. A whole lot of class. Speaking of food or anything else, I have to put together some kind of healthy breakfast here. Boy, I'm down to a perfect weight. I want to keep it at a certain level. I'm more comfortable about 170. I'm about 158. About 158. Let me see, 158? No, 159, almost 160. Which for my frame, it's actually perfect. But I did get to see him, of course, and he did gain a lot of weight. But it's not healthy weight. That's the difference. He needed to. He needed to. He was emaciated looking. Now, he does look healthier in a sense of putting a little weight on, but unfortunately, he's got too much weight, and his belly is distended, and that means a fatty liver, and it adds up to all kinds of problems. You can't eat that kind of shitty food day after day in. I do understand the situation, though, getting a good home-cooked meal of something healthy. The only thing you can get is from his girlfriend, if she decides to bring over some healthy food for him. But from what I've seen, the only thing he's been eating is burgers and all kinds of crap. Of course he gained weight, but not in a healthy way. That's his gig, not mine. I don't give a shit either way. I really don't. Okay, that's the word of the day. It's called compromise. A little back scratching may actually be advantageous for him. If not, my friends, it's business as usual. And I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel in this current situation. Something to chew on if you had any teeth, brother. Something to chew on. Otherwise, there's no compromising whatsoever. Remember, there are consequences to everything. Lucy Delta, you missed my stream. Well, you're just going to have to get used to the fact I am not any longer a regular YouTuber on here. And it feels good, actually. It feels good. There's no benefit at all for me being on YouTube. There really isn't. It's been nothing but trouble for me. And happy Thanksgiving to you, too. I don't know what the hell we're having for Thanksgiving. Probably more chicken or something. I don't know. If I lost my taste for turkey, and it's $60 for a turkey, I think I could pass. And that's what they sell for Genio, whatever turkeys you'll see in some supermarkets. Them suckers could be $60 for a turkey. I'm not saying I can't afford the $60 for the turkey, but why would you want to pay $60 for a turkey? Yeah, that much. That much. And I think my oven could probably fit one. I don't know if I see one available. But chances are we'll probably have something different than turkey for Thanksgiving. I don't know. Whatever we have is fine with me. Cook up a good home cooked meal. Thanksgiving. Think of the word Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what you have. You're still alive, talking, walking. Got use of your arm and legs. You still have a brain. You're lucky. And a lot of us don't realize how lucky we really are until maybe you lose your freedom. Freedom is a big thing as a human. As to any animal on this planet, I don't believe in caged animals at all. Birds need to fly. We need movement. We can't be caged up. We're not designed for that. That's torture. Absolute torture. Now, if I had to be in a situation like him, he was my neighbor, that would be an interesting situation. It certainly would be. I take things as they come, and I deal with them. That's the difference between me and him. I'll deal with situations in the best way I could. I'll make lemonade out of lemons, one way or the other. That's basically my structure. I'll deal with anything that comes my way. When I had to be away from my girlfriend over a year because of the COVID thing, I dealt with it. We stayed in touch. Everything was cool. I could handle certain situations. If I was out of the country, well, because I had to be. Well, did you ever hear of people that are working overseas? OFW workers that don't even see their mates. Hardly. They're out working, but they stay in touch. They're still in their lives. They're out working, making money to support their loved ones. That's a commonplace thing here in the Philippines. Whether it's Filipino to Filipino or it's a foreigner in a relationship with a Filipino. A lot of times they go to work overseas to make money. Engineering is one popular one. And they hardly see each other. But they're still in a relationship. They're still in communication with each other. That doesn't stop. Not at all. She could even come and visit him in the other country. There's always compromise. See that word again, compromise. It is what it is. I don't think you would go to jail over her complaint. I take any complaint seriously. Understand something, the person who calls himself Lucy. I take everything seriously because you have to. He's not taking things seriously as he should because there are ramifications for him, even his girlfriend, for doing what she did. We're not talking about being physical. Of course, nothing like that. No threats. Absolutely none. Zero. Never threatened her. That's the point. It was a frivolous complaint just like my tenants did on me. And believe me, I was scarred from that one. They weren't my favorite people, I'll tell you that. It's the same effect with this situation going on here right now. It's similar, let's put it that way. And then there won't be any compromising with me. The show will go on, meaning court will go on. And I will try to get I would do every effort to get him convicted for as long as the law allows. That's without compromise. With compromise, I'm certainly willing to put a good word in for the boy when it comes time of sentencing. That's a promise. Because the way I see it, he's been having a lack of freedom for almost 19 months now. No contest, folks. If there was a contest, I would have won a long time ago. There's no contest going on here. I assure you, there's no contest at all. It's circumstantial, but it's no contest whatsoever, and I'm not trying to make a contest out of it. I would have already won. But unfortunately, he decided to continue his cockiness and his very serious allegations and plain out defamation. He continued to go on that path. You expect me to compromise under those situations? I don't think so. He can laugh all he wants. I'm just going to get a fine and they're going to deport me. Well, can you guarantee that? Because I can't. If I can't, how can you guarantee that? You can't. You made the comment about you two being neighbors. I don't think that, well, not on the same floor we wouldn't be. Oh, something's bound to happen with that situation, sister. Something's bound to happen on that. It wouldn't be good. You know, with my feelings about him and his cockiness, that just would not work out at all. Could it happen? It could. I have an open mind, unlike him. I have an open mind. Anything could happen. I don't pretend I'm going to get, he's going to, like him, get a slap on the wrist, get a fine. He's going to be on his way home and get married to his girlfriend. And they go out and make tons of money. How are they going to do that? But he's yelling at John Blaze, oh, yeah, but you're making your girl work. But what are your girl going to do? What are you going to do with her? If you're not allowing her to work, then how are you going to make money in Alabama? And travel the country? How are you supposed to do that? Answer that question. We're both going to make money together. But he's not going to put his girl to work. Well, how's she going to make money? You could just put your own opinion in on that. How's he going to make money? Okay. I think you made my point here. That's where I stand as of today, and that could change. That could change. That's where I stand today. I want this shit over with as much as he does, but there has to be compromise. No compromise, there's nothing. Zero. Let it just continue as it is, and whatever happens, happens. I don't give a shit if he pleads guilty or doesn't plead guilty. That's up to him. I actually don't care either way. Okay. I think he has to basically measure out and balance out. I don't know who's advising him. Apparently, a lot of people are telling him to plead guilty, and he'll get out on a lesser charge. But you know what? Could he be lesser than that? It could be lesser than that. Remember, I'll say it again. I have a say in this, but a little bit of back scratching. But as I said, you better wash your hands first.